I would not be able to deliver it easily. So I need to factor that time when I am doing it. So these are learning that I have, and I am now working on those things to progress further. Check your audience. This is something which is extremely important when you are actually preparing your speech. Audience want an imperfectionist, right? We are not here to preach people. When Jashwant spoke, he said that he actually was not a great student, and that's when people are able to relate. He didn't come up and say that he was a perfect person. They want imperfections because they want somebody like them in the audience to be relating to them. They want interaction, they don't want preaching, right? And then they're heterogeneous, there are different kinds of people who are there. I'll talk about it a little later. They want variety, they want authenticity, and they want relevance. I quickly go through as to what are they. They want imperfectionists. Show that you are also like me. When you are giving a speech, you should actually make them feel that, okay, this is a speech which has got very close resemblance to me. They want interaction. Share your message, but don't teach me. Okay, teaching doesn't help in Toastmasters at all because it will fall flat. And then there are heterogeneous people, and somebody in the audience can be visual, auditory, or kinesthetic. So use your body, voice, and heart to connect with people. And then they want variety, and maybe logical or emotional, so include dialogues, narration, and payoff. Okay, you need to have multiple things so that it makes both logical and the emotional people connect very well. Because audiences are of different types, you cannot find one group of people actually being there. They want authenticity, they actually want to know who are you to tell me, what is the authority that you have to tell me. So again, take the same example. He said that he learned the hard way from his father's pen, and hence he was able to understand that this life can be changed. And that's why we need authenticity, and they want relevance. What is in it for me? So if you look at Jashwant's speech, for example, it had everything of that. It had that interaction, it had those dialogues, it had the narration, it had that authenticity, and it also had that relevance. Saying that, okay, for you and me, it is going to be okay. So if you can keep track of this, then it's possible for you to do. And then the last point is habituate contesting. Okay, this is something which is very, very important for you to do. You have to keep coming again and again. You don't gift yourself a contest, then you're not going to learn. You're not going to learn at all. So if those of you are familiar with CC manual, you have from CC1 to CC10 various aspects. At least till 7, you know there are body language will come, prepare your speech, make getting to the point and all that. In a contest, you have an opportunity to put all the 7 objectives together, including research. So if that can actually give you a good opportunity to compete with others, you can actually become a better speaker. So overall, if you actually shed your inhibition, purpose, have a purpose clarity, eliminate restlessness, burden, and ego, experiment with your strengths, check your audience, and habituate contesting, you can actually get ready for your speech. And that I feel is extremely important. If you're doing that, you can get ready with your speech. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, I'm ready to take.
Chair, how do you work on content? Because we see a lot of audience, including some of your speeches just on this today. When you took the pen and you clearly see the clarity of the structure. So once you get the raw content, even with the structure, the real popular speeches have that leakages somewhere. They refer to something, refer again in the middle and also close. It could be even different stories. So is there any technique to work on, like for shortcut, ABC?
So ideally what I do is I pick up 2 good examples which can relate with that story very well, and people can come with me when I'm giving that speech, and those 2 examples would have already taken people to my side so that they'll understand what I'm trying to communicate, and then I give a message in the last 2 minutes or so. That's why I do it. So personal stories, at least 2, max 3. We'll not have time for 3 sometimes. So if you have 2 good stories which can actually make people understand what they're doing, it really makes good sense for you to go. That's a good structure for you to follow.
Is there, you also use similar words to connect? Like, suppose it,
yeah, different styles are there. Somebody will have the key phrase repeating. That is what will be the transition which actually happens. So in one speech I have a key phrase repeating after every example. In the last year's speech I didn't have it that way, so it was just the example when I went to the final one. As it is. Yeah.
One major thing with contesting particularly in Toastmaster, it's about that particular day and how you fare well. It's not really about the speech. You might have a brilliant speech. But especially you had a lot of contesting experience. Imagine on the final day, you are in front of 500, 600 people and you are in the contest, right? How do you manage pressure at that point?
Mental pressure.
Pressure is inevitable because I think Sachin Tendulkar for his 100th century had so much pressure and he had to lose 8 kgs body weight or so because for somebody at that level for 100, finally he had to score his 100th century against Bangladesh. That's how it is. Pressure is inevitable. So my guru used to tell me that there are two types of pressure. There is one pressure of performance, the other one is pressure of excellence. Pressure of performance is a negative pressure which can actually pull you down. Pressure of excellence is a positive pressure which can actually pull you up. So everybody has to have that nervousness to some extent which is there. And there are so many other factors which will run in people's mind. For example, if you are the first speaker, it's a curse. Then people think, okay, how can I be the first speaker? And I have overcome that also. I keep telling Dhananjay so much. That but everything that's possible I have accomplished. Now only the live world championship is pending for me to go and collect. Mics don't work sometimes. So even many people say that you close your eyes and keep believing or keep seeing that you need to actually do something. So I was thinking maybe I have to meditate properly. Because I wanted to be the number one speaker. Every time I get the number one slot actually. Last 3 finals I have been the number one speaker actually, and it's a pressure. Let's accept it. I don't want to basically because you need to warm up the audience. So these things happen, but I keep telling myself one day if I have to go and compete in the world championship stage, I need to overcome all these things. I cannot be talking at that time. The contest is starting at 7 o'clock and the first speaker and all that. I need to be really world class at that stage. So my yardstick at this time is whatever I have left it at the previous contesting year. For example, if I have finished at the district level, my next year club has to be above this. And once you get into that kind of a working, then it's very difficult for you to feel pressurized on the stage. That's how I always work. I may probably not be able to, because when new speech is happening, it's very difficult for you to scale it up to that level. But my ambition is that whatever speech I left at the district level last time, if I have lost it, my next speech at the club level should be above the district level. So once you work on it, and once you put that at the club level, then when you go to district level and all that, the pressure is relatively less. So nowadays, I'm probably maybe 5 seconds, I will have that nervousness, and after that, I will be on my own. That's how I feel.
Thanks.
Yeah.
In a human speech contest, in case you are participating, how would you feel if the audience is laughing their guts out, not for you but for other contestants?
Again, it's an evolution. First few years I used to stay out till my turn comes. Nowadays I sit and enjoy, Basically sometimes you feel that it is good for somebody before you to warm the audience so much. Right? And then people are in the mood to laugh. For example, it happened to me in the last division contest. First humorous speech got over and I became the first runner-up. It's not announced of course. After the humorous speech is over, I went for evaluation, and whatever I spoke in evaluation, people started laughing. Maybe I was thinking they were all laughing for the humorous speech that I finished, and then because they were back to back. So they were all speaking for everything that I spoke in evaluation, they started laughing. So sometimes I was wondering whether they are just now realizing the joke what I gave. So these things happen. So when a good speech happens, actually it's a blessing in disguise for you. The audience get warmed up. But you naturally will have that pressure, So these things all will continue to happen. Over a period of time, you play on your strength, and if your objective is that one day when you actually have to play on the world stage, you have to face all this and then.
Over a period of time, I have told a lot of people, and lot of people have told me, when you are winner on a, forget about a club level, at least in the area level, a lot of people used to me, go to other areas and see how other winners are doing this speech. What's your call on it? Is it correct? I mean, it's not about correct or wrong, but is it advisable to do it or not?
I've never been to any other contest. I don't know whether you have noticed. I don't generally go to any other contest at all. Not because I don't respect, not because I don't want to know what they are speaking. It's just I don't want to put pressure on myself saying that, okay, suppose if there is a similar speech that is happening, okay, your mind will start thinking, okay, should I go and change my speech? That's a huge pressure on yourself. right? Even the same contest has happened to me when you listen, especially in 2011 when I was talking about my mother's speech. There's another contestant at the division level who also spoke about mother. So immediately you start wondering, okay, if I'm going after this person, 3 speakers later, the judges will start looking at this has to be a similarity and all that, then it's an unnecessary pressure on you. So that way I insulate myself and stay away from that and then say, okay, whatever happens, let them play with their strength and I will not play with my strength and then go on to it. But as you say, you may probably have some merit. Sometimes when you know the speech well, there are many people who actually have the ability or the technique of using those in your speeches, That sometimes helps. So you can use that content and you have a lot of time to prepare on that and go and take fun at the other speakers. Those techniques are good. But somehow I've never tried and maybe once I should try this and see that. So that's also another experiment I do.
I want to ask you, last time in the human speech contest I was participating, they used to tell me that my close friends, my advisors, mentors also, you should crack a joke, but you are not supposed to laugh. But I am basically smiling face. That's why I'm cracking some joke. I'm talking about wife or food or about my tummy. I used to crack a joke. Next moment, I used to smile also. But they told me that you are supposed to crack a joke only. You are not supposed to laugh. Is it true?
Maybe you should get your wife and you may not laugh.
No, they say that the contest you are not supposed to laugh. You should crack a joke.
You should not. It's better for you not to laugh because, see, whether it's an emotional international speech or a humorous speech, you are not reliving that experience. You are basically speaking about it. And that's the greatest
But
thing.
basically I am an emotional person.
No, correct. So which means you should not cry when you are talking about a serious scene. You should not cry. You should make audience cry. That's very important. The way you narrate that incident, you should actually make the audience cry. That is the most important thing. So you should not become that character. You should make people get into that character. When you are speaking, you have to speak with absolute control about your emotion. And that's why, if you see world champions, they'll be able to quickly switch from one to the other. They'll make people laugh and next second they'll drop and make them cry. And if you get into that emotion, it will take time for you to change to that. So it's important that you actually become a speaker and not the character by yourself. Thank you so much. Yeah. Any last question?
Is preparation required for TT contest? If yes, how should one do it?
Yeah, that's a long session by itself. I strongly believe TT session requires preparation, but don't do one particular speech and then speak whatever topic is given. That way. But it's always good for you to have a series of topics. I always carry a notebook with me. I keep writing whatever comes to my mind. And the best thing is for you to relate to a good example in your life with the topic that's given. Okay, and that makes the job very easy. Thank you so much. I'm available. Yeah, maybe. Sorry, the first lady to ask questions.
When you're on the stage, either it is a contest or regular speech that you give, is the speech for the audience or the audience for your speech?
It is a speech for the audience, and if you don't speak for the audience, then they will say, like what Alex did, people will not come in. They'll take a step and go away. While it is important that you focus on winning, but you can connect with the audience only when you speak for them. Otherwise, it is very difficult. So for example, if I am going to talk about my business, it is for me. It may be useful for the audience, but if they don't understand or they don't relate it very well, it will be a bouncer. You will not probably be able to understand it. Well, I am going to talk about the policies that the company has and how it is affecting my career. It may be a good emotional speech. I have not got increment at all and all that. But if you don't relate it to your company, it's not good for you.
Why I raise this question is, as a beginner, hard to speak for the audience. But if we take an example of few famous speakers, the audience is for the speech. So how do you take?
I have not become that famous, but right now I speak for the audience.
Everybody convinced.
Yeah, so basically when they speak, they know what to hook and then what to put as an anchor and pull them to their side. That to me is extremely important.